Running with Scars: The Unstoppable Power of Resilience. Have you ever felt like life handed you a race bib with your name on it, but forgot to mention there'd be hurdles every 10 feet? Not just any hurdles, the kind that leave marks, the kind that change how you run forever. I recently had the extraordinary privilege of interviewing Carla Davis, a woman whose very existence defies statistical probability. For those who haven't yet encountered her transformative work, Carla is nothing short of a living testament to human possibility. 21 years of sustained victory over a 20-year drug addiction while living with a disability that doctors once claimed would define her limitations. Her work in community rehabilitation programs has helped hundreds of people reclaim their lives from addiction, creating ripple effects that have transformed entire families across generations. When Carla told me, "Every morning I wake up determined to defy the enemy," I felt that statement reverberate through my bones. Not as some abstract concept or motivational catchphrase you'd find on a coffee mug, but as a tangible force that has propelled her forward through chronic pain, through doubt, through the days when getting out of bed felt like climbing Everest without oxygen. But here's what struck me most about our conversation: Carla doesn't see herself as exceptional. "I'm just investing in Nike," she told me with a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "Just doing it day after day after day." That's the thing about resilience. It's rarely about the grand gestures that make headlines. It's about the quiet decision to keep moving forward when everything in you, and sometimes everyone around you, is screaming to stop. Today, I want to explore what happens when we refuse to let our scars define our race, when we choose to run with them instead. Let's be honest. We live in a world obsessed with overnight success stories. We love the zero to hero narrative that conveniently skips over the messy middle, the doubts, the setbacks, the moments when giving up seemed like the only rational option. But real transformation, the kind that lasts, that's a different story entirely. Take Shelley Archambault, one of Silicon Valley's pioneering Black women CEOs. Before she was sitting in the C suite or serving on Fortune 500 boards like Verizon, Shelley was just the new kid, 7 different times in 7 different states. Imagine that for a moment. Constantly rebuilding your identity, your friend group, your sense of belonging. Now add the layers of being a Black woman in tech, an industry where, let's face it, the welcome mat hasn't always been rolled out for people who look like her. What did Shelley do? She made intentional decisions about her career moves, about her finances. She had honest, sometimes uncomfortable conversations with loved ones about her goals. She didn't just dream about leading organizations, she methodically charted her path there, navigating systemic barriers at every turn. Under her leadership, Metric Stream transformed from a struggling startup into a global market leader, not because the path suddenly cleared for her, but because she kept moving forward despite the obstacles. I find myself wondering, how many of us abandon our paths at the first sign of resistance? How many dreams lie dormant because we believe the lie that obstacles mean we're heading in the wrong direction? But what if, and stay with me here, what if obstacles are actually confirmation that we're pursuing something worthwhile? I'm reminded of something Carla so said during our interview. Faith isn't just something you have, it's something you do. That hit me right in the chest because faith without action is just wishful thinking. This brings me to Sakina Hoffler, an award winning poet and writer whose work centers on resilience within Black communities. Sakina could have allowed personal grief to silence her voice. She could have accepted that elite literary circles have historically kept their doors closed to marginalized voices. Instead, She channeled her pain into purpose. Her poetry, her short stories, her essays on reality versus perception. They all speak to the experience of surviving against the odds. Her words echo what it means to remain present and writing when the world gives you every reason to disappear. Today, Sakina's work is recognized by major institutions for both its literary excellence and social impact. She's an NYC Forge Fellow, received the Analog Award for Emerging Black Voices, and was even a finalist for Newark Poet Laureate with the debut novel forthcoming. But here's what's powerful. Sakina's success isn't just personal. Her voice amplifies underrepresented experiences and fosters hope among others facing adversity. She's running her race with her scars visible, showing others it can be done. Now, I want to be clear about something. Resilience isn't about pretending the hurt doesn't exist. It's not about plastering on a smile and telling everyone you're fine when you're crumbling inside. That's not strength, that's denial. True resilience acknowledges the wound, but refuses to be defined by it. I'm thinking now about the Air Miners community, a collective of climate innovators supporting diverse founders, particularly those historically excluded from tech entrepreneurship. These are individuals tackling one of humanity's greatest challenges, climate change. Led by CEO Tito Jankowski, this community recognized a critical gap. Non traditional innovators with brilliant ideas often lack the support networks available to their more privileged counterparts. So they created mentorship programs tailored toward marginalized groups and fostered collaborative knowledge sharing. The result? Over $200 million raised collectively among their startups, many of which have received national media attention. But more importantly, they've created a space where possibility thrives, where exclusion once prevailed. This is what happens when we build communities of resilience, when we recognize that some races aren't meant to be run alone. During my conversation with Carla, she emphasized that her 21 years of sobriety weren't achieved in isolation. Every day, she told me, I wake up and remember I'm part of something bigger than myself. That's the secret sauce, isn't it? Understanding that our individual resilience gains exponential power when connected to purpose beyond ourselves. But let's talk about something that often gets overlooked when we discuss resilience: the daily practice of it. We love the highlight reel, the moment someone crosses the finish line, arms raised in victory. We rarely see the thousands of ordinary mornings they chose to lace up their shoes when every muscle ached from the previous day's effort. Carla described her approach as daily intention. Each morning, a conscious choice to move forward, to defy the enemy, whether that enemy is addiction, discrimination, self doubt, or chronic pain. This reminds me of something Maya Angelou once said: you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. The distinction there is crucial. Defeats are events. Being defeated is a state of mind. I see this distinction clearly in the journey of Shelley Archambault. She encountered defeats, moments of racial bias, gender stereotypes, professional isolation, but she was never defeated. She kept making intentional decisions, having honest conversations, envisioning herself in leadership roles, even when there were few examples that looked like her. The same is true for Sakina Hoffler, who transformed grief into creative expression that now uplifts entire communities. And for the diverse founders within the Air Miners Network who pursue ambitious climate solutions despite limited resources and widespread skepticism. They all share something in common with Carla. They understand that resilience isn't a destination, it's a daily practice. So, what does this mean for you? For me, for all of us running our own races with our own unique scars? It means we have a choice every single day. We can allow our wounds to become excuses for standing still, or we can transform them into reasons to move forward with even greater purpose. We can isolate ourselves in our struggles, or we can connect with communities that remind us we're not alone. We can focus on how far we still have to go, or we can acknowledge how far we've already come. I'm not suggesting this is easy. Some days the weight feels crushing. Some mornings getting out of bed feels like an act of heroism. I get that. Carla gets that. Shelly, Sakina, and countless others running their races with visible and invisible scars. They all get that. But here's what I want you to remember: the race isn't over. As long as you're still breathing, you have the opportunity to take another step forward. It doesn't have to be a leap. It doesn't even have to be a full stride. Sometimes resilience looks like a shuffle, a crawl, a whispered promise to yourself that tomorrow you'll try again. So here's my challenge to you today: look at your scars, not with shame, but with recognition of what they've taught you. Those marks aren't just reminders of pain, they're evidence of your capacity to heal, to continue to transform. Starting tomorrow morning before your feet hit the floor, reflect on one challenge you've already overcome, just one. Then set one intention rooted in purpose for the day ahead. This simple ritual will serve as a daily reminder that your race isn't over, even if you're running it with scars still healing. And the next time you encounter someone struggling with their own hurdles, share your scars, not as badges of honor, but as beacons of possibility. Because in a world that often celebrates perfection, there's revolutionary power in showing others that damage doesn't mean defeated. Your scars don't disqualify you from the race. In fact, they might be precisely what qualifies you to show others what's possible when you refuse to let pain have the final word. Run your race. Walk it if you need to. Crawl if that's all you can manage today. But whatever you do, keep moving forward, because the world doesn't just need more perfect people. It needs more people who understand that imperfection is where our humanity connects. Your resilience isn't just about you, it's about all the people watching you who need to believe that they too can get back up again. So run with your scars, run because of them, run to show others it can be done. The race isn't over, and neither are you.